this. And that's why we are doing all this. But I want to thank you for allowing us this opportunity to touch base with our colleagues. We know they are here, somewhere in Kampala, but we know they're here. And we're here to interact with them. We've brought our forms. We need only 7 out of the 177. But along the way, we picked one signature, so we could roughly be looking for 6 signatures.
Okay.
In West Nile, you have 42 members of parliament, and we only have 12 who have so far signed. The rest of the 30 are here. So you'll help us to reach out to our colleagues and even to the people. The people who want to appeal to you, probably you could be in position to urge, to remind, to convince colleagues to come and append the signatures so that we can have the requisite number. And for this, when I met the Honorable Kasiano Wadri, I felt at home.
Okay.
We were together. He was my chairman, Public Accounts Committee. He was so diligent. But in a special way, I want to thank Honorable Kasiano Wadri, as I thanked you, for spearheading this all. He did well. Honorable Odria, thank you so much for taking the lead. I myself would not have been here, but I thank Honorable Odria Yorke. He's solid, and this is the reason we are here before you. And we thank the civil society organizations. Honorable Feni, thank you so much for taking it out. And since I'm the mover of the motion, it is my duty to thank all of you, to thank Wisnet TV for allowing us this opportunity. And we hope there will be no excuse that you know who are on recess, who are not in Kampala, we have come closer.
Okay.
And if you permit, at an appropriate time, probably would allow us to thank those members of parliament who have been able to append their signatures.
Okay, maybe if you can be able to paint for us that image of how the members of parliament from Western Sub-Region have reacted, that is to sign in the Censure Motion, given the fact that one of these persons also already they are going to sign the motion is from the region. How has it been like? If you can be able to paint for us that image for us to understand the Censure Motion that we're talking about.
No, this censure really, as I've introduced, and my colleagues shall come in, we are basically seeking their signatures. And maybe to clarify to the viewers, at this stage you have not condemned anybody. No. We are only saying give us the signature so that the matter can be put on the order paper to be debated. So after we get the 177, we issue a notice to the speaker through the clerk. And once a notice is issued with the motion and the signatures, the rules provide that within 14 days, the speaker shall have put the matter on the order paper for it to be debated. This is a debate, and I'm surprised that members of parliament can run away from debate. At this time, there have been those who have been saying that no, parliament passed the money. Why are we now raising? Yes, our evidence is we did not pass the money. Because the affected person, the commissioners, they don't fall under ex gratia. They are not listed former leaders. They are not. How did we pass the money? And we have the evidence to show that indeed we did not. And maybe to widen the perspective, the Inspector General of Government has released a report saying that Parliament, that Uganda each year, the country, we lose about 10 trillion to corruption. 10 trillion shillings. And if you consider the budget, our last budget was 52 billion. But it only performed at, 52 trillion. And it only performed at 48 trillion. So meaning that if you take away 10 trillion, you are almost taking away 20% to corruption. So the fight against corruption, we feel, must start with Parliament. Because Parliament has the oversight function. It holds other institutions, ministries, accounting officers to account for money. And therefore it cannot be the same Parliament to steal public money, to take public money for personal aggrandizement. This is the gist of our motion. Okay. And we want those commissioners to be held accountable. We shall lead our evidence, and they will have opportunity to answer back.
Okay. They
have a right of defense. But for now, allow me to mention that out of the 42 members of parliament, 12 MPs have appended their signatures. And we start with Yumbe. Yumbe, Honorable Odria Alioni. We have of the MP Aringa South in Yumbe district. We have Honorable Onzima Godfrey, he signed, and the woman MP Honorable Avako Melissa. So out of the 5 members of parliament in Yumbe, the 3 have signed. We thank you, Honorable. For us, we shall be mentioning those who have signed, because those are the ones we can mention and appreciate. Now we have Obongi district. Obongi district, there are 2 members of parliament, Honorable Boka George and Honorable Maneno Zumla, the district woman MP. Both of them signed. We thank them. 100% they signed. Now in Koboko district, we have 1 member of parliament who signed out of the 4, and this is Honorable Sharifa Ate Amin, the woman member of parliament. In Maracha district, we have 1 out of the 3 members of parliament, Honorable Oguzuli, signed. In Terego district, Honorable Rose Obiga, signed. That is 1 out of the 3 members of parliament. In Madiokoro, we have Honorable Etuka Isaac. The rest have not signed. In Arua district, we have 2 members of parliament. This is Honorable Giovanni Adrico, MP Vura, and Honorable Paparo Lilian Obiare, the woman member of parliament. In Arua city, Aivu, we have nobody. Moyo district, Moyo, there are 2. Where are you? We have Ajuman. Ajuman, there are 3 members of parliament. We are still waiting. Zombo district, we have 3 members of parliament. We are still waiting. In Pakwach, we have 2 members of parliament. We are yet to see 1, so we are still waiting. In Nebi district, we have Honorable Isaac Otimgiu, the MP Padiere County. He's the only one who signed out of the 3 members of parliament. But as we said, tomorrow we shall be at the Mayor's Gardens from 8 a.m. up to when probably members have come, or if we don't see them, then in the afternoon, as I mentioned earlier, we shall be moving to another region. But we do hope that members who are still present here, who have not appended their signatures, you come forward, you give us the signatures so that we can be able to go back and have this very important motion. I thank you very much. Yes, that brings me to Honorable Kasiano. When we talk about service award, in most cases that is some appreciation that is for the good job well done. And I believe during the time you were in Parliament, it was something that did go on, and I believe, Honorable Odria Yorke, you're actually beneficiary of the service award one time for the good job done. But why is it now that this matter is also really a big problem? Could it be the gap of some of the people who are supposed to do the oversight role? Where did it go on? And we have now seen the President often coming out to also really ensure that now he is going to be tackling corruption right from the top level. What can you say about that?
See, viewers out there, I had the opportunity to serve in the Parliament under the leadership of Right Honorable Second. I also had the opportunity to serve under the leadership of the Right Honorable Rebecca Kataka. And while in Parliament, I held a number of responsibilities. I was Opposition Chief Whip, and concurrently, while serving the 5 years, I also served as acting leader of the opposition for 1.5 years. I was the one who ended up the term of office in 2010-11. And I had the opportunity to serve in the Public Accounts Committee as chairman. I had the opportunity to serve as the chairman, Governance, as well as an implementation committee. But I can assure you and tell you without any fear of contradiction, when I served in those responsibilities, even as acting leader of the position for 1.5 years, having taken it over from the Right Honorable Professor Gengalatigo because he was indisposed after a very fatal accident. There was nothing like a service award. Because in the absence of Professor Latigo, when I was acting leader of the opposition for 1.5 years, I used to represent the opposition in parliamentary commission meetings. There was nothing. Actually, this thing called service award is a new thing. I'm happy my young brother, the Honorable Ssekikubo, with whom I was together in parliament, is here. There was nothing like that. You see, what shocks me as a person, as a politician, having worked in civil service, is that world over the institution of parliament is seen as the vanguard of good governance. That good governance entails fighting corruption, zero tolerance to corruption, and seeking for accountability from the executive. Looking at issues of human rights, looking at issues of, judicial processes, rule of law. But I'm surprised that the institution of parliament, which is supposed to be the one having a leading role in fighting corruption, is now embroiled and is at the center of corruption in this country. This is something which had never happened before. Where has this vice come from? I am happy this move, which has been led by the Honorable Ssekikubo and the Honorable Odria and the Honorable Saro Pendi, the woman MP of Tororo, the three are all NRM members of parliament. And if you remember, when President Museveni came to power, his manifesto as it were, his Bible as it were, his Quran as it were, was the 10-point program. And when you look at that document, point number 7 is commitment to fight against corruption. If I can recall my memory very well. That is what President Museveni resolved and put on the table for us to have him accepted as, a person who, because he said this was going to be a fundamental change, not a mere change of guards. And I would have really expected him to live to that as a regime. As I said, I'm happy this thing is apolitical. Because when I look through the people who have appended their signatures, the NRMs are there. The opposition members of parliament are also there.
Yeah.
This is a sign that those who have signed are the people who are on the side of the citizens of this country. In the Bible, one time when people asked Jesus Christ, he says, "He who is for you is not against you, and he who is against you is not for you." Therefore, those who have signed this petition, this motion, are the people on the side of the 45.9 million Ugandans. They know their work. But those who have refused to sign are the people who are the enemies of the 45.9 million Ugandans. One thing which I can say here without any further contradiction is that many of those who have refused to sign this thing have refused for two purposes.
I was actually coming to that.
Either they are so timid that they have no political spine to stand in front of those that are judged to have been involved in this mishap or mismanagement of resources. It is fear. They have no political spine to stand up to talk with the truth. And the others are being compromised by the leadership.
Yes.
That if you do this, you don't get this. If you do this, you get this. If you So the moment you are a people's representative, you are our mouthpiece. You are the link between us and government. You are the one to cherish and defend and fight for the things which are good for us, a country as a country, and the electorate in this country. But the moment you go to parliament, you begin now serving yourself in the dining table, regardless of what is there on the ground. Those who think that they have not signed this motion because they think they are going to lose individually are making the whole entire country to lose. But this 1.7 billion shillings is just a tip of the iceberg. As the Honorable Ssekikubo said, 5 MPs are behind the coolers, what we call University of Understanding, because of being suspected to have dipped their hands into government coffers through corrupt tendencies. Therefore, it is not that those who are moving this motion are the ones who have lost. It is the entire country. Because that money, as I said, tip of the iceberg, how much more, together with the others that we have not known about, will have helped this country in terms of provision of good healthcare services, in terms of provision of good educational facilities, in terms of road networks, in terms of provision of safe, clean water for our people, let alone improving agriculture. These are the questions that should come to our mind when we are looking at this. I'm happy and I want to congratulate these two honorable members of parliament. Honorable Ssekikubo, I have been with you for the last 18 years in the parliament. I know you, I know you stand here. Stand firm. Honorable Odria, stand for the truth.
Okay. Now let me bring in Honorable Odria here. It's marking from, that is Honorable Kasiano Wadri. It is not a matter of colors here now that we're talking about. It's not a matter of blue, it's not a matter of red, not a matter of yellow. It is a matter of Uganda. And one would think that you would have raised these signatures right from the top, that is at Parliament, and now you are moving it down the grassroots. What reason have these members of Parliament who have not yet penned their signatures being given to you? And why is it that we are still facing resistance in terms of raising these numbers that we are looking forward to have this motion be put that's before the floor of Parliament? Thank you.
Thank you very much, West Nile TV. You've raised a very important matter. Why is it hard that we are not getting the signatures that we need? Number one, we need signatures to have this debate. This matter be put on a order paper for debate. Now, we are saying our 4 commissioners, starting with Afoyochan Esther from West Nile, awarded herself service award of 400 million shillings illegally. Us as members of parliament, we did not debate nor approve that 400 million for Honorable Afoyochan, Commissioner Afoyochan Esther. Commissioner number 2, Honorable Selwani Solomon from Eastern Uganda, awarded himself 400 million. We are saying it was illegal. Commissioner Akompurra Prosi from Western Uganda awarded herself 400 million shillings illegally as a commissioner. We are saying Commissioner Matthias Mpuga awarded himself 500 million illegally. We are now collecting signatures to have this matter be put on the order paper. We present our evidences. You sent us as voters, taxpayers, you sent us to parliament to represent you. You sent us to debate. So the question the voters are asking us, or Ugandans are like, why are other members of parliament not appending their signatures? I can give you some reasons. In parliament, there's what we call foreign trips that is given to members of parliament, either to go for benchmarking, various reasons, to countries like America, China, India, others go to Dubai here, others in the US. And this trip here, members are paid an amount of $720 per day as per diem. Now, some members of parliament have been beneficiaries of this money. That is why if you go to Parliament of Uganda, you will find some members of Parliament always moving around the Speaker's office, lobbying for trips, going through the commissioners like Afoyo-chan, through whom they get these trips. So, majority of the members who have not signed, we know they are victims. They have been beneficiaries of this stolen money. So they are now fearing to sign. Because they know if I sign, the Speaker will check my signature. Commissioner Afoyo-chan, Commissioner Solomon Selwani, or who will see my signature. So I will miss out. Is that why we were sent to Parliament? No. So they have been promising us, I'll be signing, I'll be coming. We now hope they are on their way coming. Because we've been in recess, we have now decided to move regional. The other day, when in Bunyoro, we moved to Busoga. Last weekend, we were in Ankole. Now we're in West Nile, Northern Uganda, Lango, and Karamoja. We're now in West Nile. Those who say, hey, I didn't have fuel, oh, I'm busy in the constituency, oh, you know, I'm in West Nile. We have now come to West Nile, using our own transport, using our own fuel, and all any other allowances. We don't need an allowance, we're using our own resources. We are now in West Nile. So we want to see who is against corruption. The ones against corruption in this country, they should come and sign. Anybody, any member of Parliament who is upright in his brain or her brain doesn't sign, just know is a promoter of corruption in this country, doesn't have any good feeling for any Ugandan, including the taxpayers. Who are you? The voters.
Okay.
So, we are now calling upon all the religious leaders, all the cultural leaders, the kings, especially the king where Afoyo-chan comes from, the district caddies, taxpayers, you, the voters, call upon your member of parliament. Say, go and sign. Have you signed? If you have not signed, why haven't you signed? What reason do you have not to sign against corruption in parliament? Yet the president mentioned it clearly. During the State of the Nation address in Kololo, the president of the Republic of Uganda said, I used to hear, but now I have evidence, and I have confirmed that there is corruption in Parliament of Uganda and the Ministry of Finance. I am going to deal with the people, the individually. They will go to jail. As I speak to you now, we have 5 members of parliament in Luzira, in jail. We expect more, up to a figure of about 20 to 30 or 50. So let the commissioners resign now or wait for the censure from us.
Okay.
Because we have our evidences.
Okay.
Yes.
Our time is running up. Unfortunately, we are going to be taking another short commercial break, and this is also where I will be bringing in my brother Feni Tribe from the perspective of the civil society organizations, and that is also to make us understand why signing this censure motion is very, very important, and what does it mean to that ordinary Ugandan, because somebody may say, this is an affair of the parliamentarians. After all, does not touch me. That is where we are going to be coming back from that short commercial break. For now, let's first have a short commercial break as we bounce back shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Cameras, check. Lights, check. Sound, check. Judges, check. Action. Get ready for the Miss Uganda Grand Finale live at 8 p.m. on 3rd August 2024. 28 finalists in boot camp. One crown. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Follow the beautiful journey to the final on Makula Chika exclusively on Star Times every Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m.
Sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comform, Nigerian Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors, Grass Textiles and U-Home.
Miss Uganda 2024. True Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial breather. We are back for the talk show, and we are still looking at how the MPs are going to have their colleagues. These are the backbench commissioners also already being censored in there, and this is where they are looking for signatures. And it's now 2 months, and this is already where they have now decided to change the strategy, and that is to move at the grassroots and how efficient and how effective it's going to be working. That is one thing also they will be telling us. That is also this hour, and we are still with the wonderful panel, and I do have with me that is Theodore Ssekikubo, Member of Parliament for Luemiyaga County, and also do have Kasiano Wadri, Honorable, also really that is former MP around municipality in there, and I do also have as well Odria Yorke, one of the also really son of the soil, who is also really behind this motion to be moved in there, and I do also as well have that is Feni Tribe, Executive Director, that is of WESISNET, and that's West Nile Regional Civil Society Network. And earlier on I did pose a question. Some person out there may be asking him or herself, why is this censure motion important after all? I'm an ordinary person. It is a matter of the parliamentarians. Why is it very, very much important? As the viewer, you're most welcome. My name is Farish Majid. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it is more important for citizens like us than even members of parliament. Because first and foremost, we are taxpayers. We pay tax, which tax is used for doing whatever is being done in this country, whether it being provision of services, whether it being payments of salaries, whether it being any other development. That comes from our tax as a citizens. Two, Constitution gives us mandate to combat corruption. That is the responsibility of all citizens to combat corruption. If you read Article 17. But again, I want to explain to you that civil society organizations are just not coming from anywhere. It has its roots from the Constitution. That citizens will come in a group, maybe in a group or individual, to influence the decision of government. That is how civic organizations are formed. So in that regard, first and foremost, before you call me a CEO, ED, whatever the case may be, I am a citizen. So I am a citizen, I'm talking as a citizen. So I think citizens need to be more interested in this debate, not even members of parliament. Because members of parliament are our representatives. We would be in parliament. We're now 400, around 4.45 million people would be in parliament. But because that house is not enough, we decided to say no, we now want to entrust all the responsibilities to these individuals to go and talk on our behalf. So I think that's why we're now taking interest to say, the people we send there, are you representing us? Are you talking on behalf of what we think you should do? Are you there putting our interests first before your interests? Or you are not doing the right thing? So I think that's why we're more interested. We want to have this debate done. We want to know the facts. As it was said here, nobody has been condemned. We are simply saying, if it is true, you go and ask. If indeed it was approved, so what they are saying is not true. You go and ask, same Honorable Ssekikubo, Honorable Odria, at the floor of Parliament by bringing your evidence, maybe by proving your point. Why would you fear debate? I think the whole thing is, let us have this debate done. That's why we want to urge all the members of Parliament. Actually, for us, we don't urge them. We want to direct them to do so because we vote for them. All the citizens pick up your phone and call your member of Parliament. It is your mandate. Actually, you have all the rights to do that, to call them to say, okay, this is what we want, this is what you're supposed to do. But I want to tell you something. Members of Parliament are not appointed by any other person apart from the citizens. Citizens vote for them. They don't get any other appointment anywhere. It is us appointing them. We can also disappoint them as well. But the truth of the matter is, members of Parliament needs to be people who are always interested in knowing what is it that is good for the citizens. And for us, the citizens, what is good is provision of services. We want to see our roads being done. We want to see health facilities improved. We want to see schools improved, not service awards. Because if you are now going to give money to someone to say, okay, you have done a lot of work, thank you for that. Is that our need? What is it that you have done? Have you not been paid for whatever you have been doing? Because everyone is paid for it. So I think I want to urge all the citizens, like me, you who is watching out there, that you need to put more pressure on your member of Parliament. You are doing your noble work by informing them that they need to go outside, so that we hear. We want to see whether these people are telling the truth or not. It can only be through debate. So I think debate is something that is civil. Debate is something that everyone should be interested in. That's why we send members of Parliament there. Your work there is to debate, not to do anything. So okay. Parliament is a place where debate is done. So if you are running off from debate, I think you are telling us that I think I'm not fit to be there. Okay. You could as well now think of putting me somewhere. We'll show you where to be. Okay. But the truth is, debate is healthy. Nobody should run off from debate. Whatever the case may be, let's first see what is there. Okay, now let me bring in back Honorable Theodore. And this is also to understand that it is now 2 months that you are yet looking for these signatures, and I believe you are now remaining with a very few to hit the target. And this is also really where you already reached some, that is period, and when you failed to raise the signatures by that time, you also had to change strategy. And now we are seeing you again changing strategy, now moving that is to the grassroots level. Amidst the threats of some people not also really encouraging the members of Parliament to sign the signatures, do you think using this strategy you will be able to raise the remaining signatures to also have this motion be presented that's before the floor of Parliament? Thank you.
Farish, you see, you are right to express concern, because we are waiting and we've been waiting at Parliament. But when that one did not work out, we decided to follow up our colleagues. Ordinarily, out of the 177, if you have 171, if indeed there was goodwill, without hiding under the technicality, those would be enough signatures. But we know we don't want to leave room for somebody's sympathy. That's why we are here to get the 6 signatures. The 6 signatures would ordinarily be easy to get, but as we mobilize, they also demobilize. Okay. As we call members to come to Parliament, indeed they come, but between the parking and the table where we get seated, a member tells you, I'm already in Kampala, I've come to sign. You say, no, I'm here. Then there passes about 30 minutes, and the member is not appearing. Then when he finally arrives, he comes busy on the phone. Hello, 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 hello. Yes, hello. And he passes, and yet the desk is there. And disappears inside there. By the time he comes back, he's looking the other side. He walks out. So as we mobilize, they also follow. You remember there were efforts even to snatch away the signatures. There were efforts to snatch away our signatures from us. You know, colleagues being, you know, I can't use the word, but it was very, very bad. Okay. Members plotting to come. How do we snatch? You bolt, if you break it, but run away with those signatures. Okay. Those who say they signed accidentally. No. That was one.
Okay.
You say a member for each signature of ours, if Honorable had one sheet there.
Okay.
We have a head note, Honorable, if you have any. We have a head note. Each page, there is a head note. Signature for censuring so and so and so. And a member signs on each and every page. So that we don't say, no, for me, I never read the head note. On each and every page, there is a head note. Signatures for the motion to censure Honorable Matthias Mpuga, Honorable Esther Afoyo-Chan, Honorable Prosi Akampulira, and Honorable Solomon Sirwany. And we put 1, 2, 3 up to 12. So those are the nature of our... Now, for a member of parliament, we know it was 1, but we knew they had planned for about 10, so that they can discredit the whole exercise. It is only 1 they got. But if a member of parliament can sign such a critical document without knowing what he or she is signing, then it is a matter of great disappointment. How about the people we lead? If we whom they sent to parliament to represent them, we do not know things we sign, how about the people we lead? Farish.
Yes, sir.
So it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge, but fortunately, our rules do not provide for the withdrawal of the signatures. Because it was a game.
Okay.
You members sign, but overnight they are compromised, and they say, no, I was blind, I did not. I was sick. My eyes failed. I did not read properly. So I'm now withdrawing my signature. So the rules stopped that circus.
Okay.
The circus of honorable members who do one thing and turn around. They are worse than those who run away and hide.
Okay.
But fortunately, we are there. For those who have appended their signatures, we thank them.
Okay.
And I think now we are on course. If we can get members from West Nile,
Okay.
the 42 members, if we can, the 30,
Roughly,
if we can get
roughly,
even...
maybe, yes, I was coming that. Maybe roughly how many signatures would you wish to have from West Nile sub-region to make this move a success for you?
If they were to give us all of them, because you have to start to be counted. On which side of history are you standing? Are you for the people or you are for the organizers? You see, you can't be both. You can't stand there and you stand here. No, you have to choose. You can't be like this. On which side of history are you? So if they can all, the 30 come, because even we would allow, hey, so you've said your signature, you didn't know what you're signing. Take. Because you see, they are trying everything to fail the motion. But for us, as we've said, we have reached 171. We are looking the mandatory requisite signatures. We are waiting for 6.
Okay.
But if we move by consensus, you remember they even censured the Namugans in 2 days. They were signing before the speaker. They were signing before everywhere.
Okay.
At a rush. Now on this very meaningful process, members are buying time, then others are sick, then others,
Okay.
you know, they're wobbling. You know wobbling.
Okay. Yes, let's continue.
They rise, they fall. They rise, they fall. But we know members of parliament from West Nile are strong members. We are not here to expose any member. Probably for one reason or the other, they've not been able to come. But they are coming. And lastly, West Nile has a history in the politics of this country.
Yes.
You may criticize, you may do what, but West Nile at one point offered leadership to this country. We are proud of West Nile. West Nile has produced strong persons in that parliament. I was happy to have served. I joined that parliament with Kasiano Wadri here, the 7th parliament. But I'm still going strong. I'm still moving on. West Nile cannot afford to have its leaders hide their head. You've been known, you gave leadership to this country, and whereas some are quick to criticize, but we know the Africanization of business in this Uganda started from West Nile.
Okay.
It's a fact, whether you hate or you like, but there are those historical facts that we must mention. Otherwise, Africans were aliens in business and trade in this country.
Okay.
So for that matter, West Nile plays a pivotal role in the political and economic development of this country. Therefore, we cannot afford to miss on this historical moment.
Okay.
And this is why we are conscious that we shall be getting
the 6 required. Yes. Now let me come back to Honorable Kasiano. You were in that parliament and you know what exactly it is and you know how, and that is where sometimes when we interact with such people, you really see that there is more that needs to be done, and that is something where you feel that there is something that's not being done. Looking at corruption, the president has said often, most times we have been losing a lot of monies, and that is why today he has come up with a strategy that is to make sure that he combats corruption right from the top level until the grassroots. And this is also really where we did also see that he is going to be forming new bodies that is still to combat corruption. In your own opinion, as Honorable Kasiano Wadri, do you think the censure motion would help bring down the cases of corruption at the parliament?
I think if this censure motion succeeded, it will send a very, very big message to the people out there, that at least the institution that is responsible for combating corruption and for ensuring there's accountability has taken a lead in this fight against corruption. You know, it will become an example. But of course, at the same time, when I see what is going on, this motion which has come here, I still will want to say, has not received enough support from His Excellency the President. I say this with the full conviction, because when I was in that parliament, there are things which we used to think were impossible. But President Museveni will call the NRM members for a caucus meeting. Even people who had already made up an opinion will come and make an about it turn. So this motion, this is censure motion, also puts Museveni to test whether he really is committed to fighting corruption. Because having chaired a park and having seen what things are, I've repeatedly said it on the radio. And in various parts of this country, as I go out on political mobilization, that corruption in this country starts and ends with the President of Museveni. The onus is on him to come out clean, because he is the chief executive of this country. He is the head. It is him who can, call this country to order. So therefore, I would want to appeal to President Museveni to give support to this motion. Some of the things that he said to me are just lip service. Even the creation of various institutions and offices. Recently we heard about the creation of this other gentleman called Kalemire. Who does not know that Kalemire was convicted by a competent court of law because of his involvement in corruption and occasioning loss, financial loss to this country when he was in Uganda Revenue Authority. And you are not taking the same person there? Really?
Maybe, let's say, he understands the environment of delicate.
What do you mean? You see, what do you mean? What do you mean? This is now, I think, the adage that if you want to catch a thief, you must use a thief.
Yes, that is
right. But at the same time, you must also know that the laws of this country are very clear. If you are being convicted of a criminal offense related to corruption, you are barred from holding public office for 10 years. This is the law. So I get myself, many times I ask myself, is our president really serious? Or he just wants to get, So, this censure motion will have helped President Museveni. And people will get to know that I think, yes, something is really happening. We can now hope for the best. But the moment he does not give support to this, and he leaves matters to go the way they are, I think in his heart, whatever he's talking is not what the heart believes.
Okay.
So, this censure motion, if moved successfully, will be a long milestone for us as a country.
Okay.
You know, in that parliament we've been there before. The censure motion in this particular case will not be like that of Namuganza, Honorable Namuganza, because the rationale of giving that power under Article 118 of the Constitution, you know, which provides for censure motions against the executive, against the ministers, was made in 1995 Constitution, bearing in mind that it is true some ministers become too powerful for the government to display. I mean, for the president to display. So, Parliament was being used as an institution that will help the president to display an errand minister. And that is the reason why, even when you, as a Parliament, censor a minister, it is not automatic that that minister loses his or her position. That's why Namuganza still remained a minister. He kept sitting on the front bench because the censure motion was not automatic. It needed the nod of the appointing authority, His Excellency the President, to what? To own it, to say, yes, Parliament, you have assisted me to display, to recommend the removal of this errand minister. But that only comes from the President. But for the case of these commissioners, they don't enjoy that benefit.
Yes.
Because the commissioners are elected by the Parliament itself.
Okay. But we have also seen the speaker also coming out recently to say that if they're told they shared with the money with the electorates, then it's not proper.
You see, this is where I continue to say that I think the three arms of government are not committed in this equal wavelength in fighting this corruption. That's not the only thing. You remember the other time when the right honorable speaker was in the constituency where the honorable Namuju
In
Luengo.
Yes.
She said, no, President Museveni is such a forgiving father, he will forgive her. You know, she's going to be your MP, please return her. Even if she's done something wrong, provided she has brought it to you. That in itself does not show the commitment to fight corruption. It's actually to say, my son, you can go, my daughter, you can go, and you steal it from there, and you bring it to me, as long as you have brought for me a stolen property, I pay you at the back, and say, oh, it's okay. Many times I say President Museveni is not committed. Why? Because as he several times he says, he knows the corrupt in this country. So if he knows the corrupt, what has he done? Has he cracked the whip on any of them? He has not. So if you are a parent, your son goes out and the community members bring that son to you with a stolen goat. Say, no, we have caught your son with this goat, he stole it and the rest of it. And you pet him at the back and say, my son, don't leave him, no, I will talk to him, you just leave him. Two things come to my mind. That either you as the parent, you are the one who sent that child to steal, you are condoning corruption, or number two, when that child steals that whatever he steals, you are a beneficiary. You share it together. And not only that, I still would want to, even by the way, in my own words, to say, I want President Museveni to come up clean and defend himself. The other time, when the Honorable Betty Kamia, the IGG, wanted to come up with the lifestyle audit, you remember what President Museveni said? So no, Honorable, this is government money, you know, don't scare these people. After all, when they steal this money, they invest it in the country. Really? And then you say you're fighting corruption.
What does that say about our fight against corruption?
That means we have no will to fight corruption. And it is also on the record. President Museveni himself I have even the clip where he says, I know when you fight corruption, my government will fall.
Okay.
These people can even bring down my government.
Okay, as well.
So this is Censure Motion. This is a litmus test paper for President Museveni.
Okay, that is where
he throw his weight behind the Honorable Ssekikubo,
okay,
and the Honorable Odria, and the Honorable Upendi to make sure that really.
Okay, Honorable, we are going to be pausing it there as we give chance, that is to Honorable Odria Yorke. This issue happened, that is where you are, where you are still a member of parliament in this house that we're talking about, where this was signed this money illegally, as you claim. Was it an oversight, maybe weakness, or is it a matter of accountability that also really much investigation is not being done? How did this also really get the money, and if at all you want them censored, and why so? Maybe do you want this book to be censored? In just the 2 minutes as we run for another break.
Thank you very much. Why we say these people should be censored is because not in any way we as a parliament debated, approved or signed for this money. It was a selfish act. I told you, these are people who are meant to serve a term of 2.5 years. But before the 2.5 years ended, just on serving for 1 year in office, they decided to pick money and award themselves for service which they have not even concluded. Still serving for 2.5 years, you pick money, you award yourself with cash. Tell me how legal that is. Very wrong. It's like going for a race of 100 meters. And the one setting you says, oh, get onto your marks, get set, go. You start the race, you're caught away before you reach where the rope is always put. You're caught away, you say, hey, I'm the winner, give me the gold medal here. Give the silver to the other one. Very wrong. So, they have to be punished. We are going to censor them, and they're going to pay back the money.
Okay, that is Honorable Odria Yorke, and dear viewer, in case you're just joining us right now, you are most welcome aboard. This is West Nile TV, and we are talking about the censure motion, where some members of parliament allocated 1.7 billion for themselves, and that is where it is said it was illegally. And we are yet following upon that discussion, and we are going to be taking yet another short commercial break, and when we bounce back, we are still with the team, and we are going to also really see how far they will be able to go with this, and if at all they fail to raise the numbers, what next is also really where they will be telling us more of that. But for now, let's take this important breather as we bounce back shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Cameras, check. Lights, check. Sound, check. Judges, check. Action. Get ready for the Miss Uganda Grand Finale live at 8 p.m. on 3rd August 2024. 28 finalists in boot camp. 1 crown. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Follow the beautiful journey to the final on Makula Chika, exclusively on Star Times every Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m.
Sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comfort, Nigerian Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors, Grass Textiles and U-Home.
Miss Uganda 2024. True Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Right, welcome back to that short commercial break. Dear viewer, in case you're just joining us right now, you're most welcome aboard from wherever you're watching us from. It could be within Western Sub-region, it could be Nacholi, where the team also will be going anytime from now. It could be Langu as well, and Karamoja. We say it's a pleasure having you on board, and that is where we also really want to see how far they will be able to go with the signatures they are looking for. And I did ask a question earlier on, what if they fail to get the required number of signatures, what next? And now I want to ask Honorable Ssekikubo to also tell us what exactly they will be doing if at all they fail to meet the required number of signatures, also to have these members also really censored in there.
Thank you very much, Farish. Yes, I take that question, and but from the experience I have, I've been in this business for long. You remember we even thought it would be difficult in some cases, like the Chogam investigations, etc. But we have always emerged on the right side. So, not even the pundits thought would get more than 50 signatures. Not even the speaker. Indeed, that was the point when the government chief whip thought he would not intervene, and the speaker. But when they saw we were getting 70, 80, 90, 100, where even the PLU, the Patriotic League of Uganda, the General Secretary Kabanda David led the team, because they all said, no, we are standing against corruption. Then the signatures moved to 110, 120. Now by the time the government chief whip came to stop, we had moved. We've encountered issues where we even had applied for transport, a parliamentary van, and some fuel, and some escort, because we knew they had staged to grab papers from us. But up to this point in time, we have not yet been facilitated. Yet Parliament has many facilities, vans, buses that are taken for fundraisings, that go for housewarming, that go for, small parties. And this is how now we change it. Okay, if you've stopped us from accessing the parliamentary facilities, yet we are under a parliamentary command. We are exercising the oversight function. We shall use our means. We shall improvise. And that's how we found it pertinent. But we found difficulties. But all I can assure our dear viewers is that from 1 to 100, 100 to 120, 130, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71 now as we speak, there is no way we can fail to get the extra 6 signatures. This is why we are engaging with you, Farish. This is why we are before West Nile Television. This is why we are in partnership with colleagues to put a word for us. And this is why we are appealing even to those who may not appear parliamentarians, but they are our people, because we derive our mandate from the people. So the people can urge, can remind the MPs. We shouldn't fail. Look, carrying 171 signatures of members is too heavy a responsibility that you cannot just drop. Fortunately, the rule we used, Rule 110, gives us ample opportunity. Our table, the signature table, shall stay open. Nobody is about to close that table. Though at one time they had attempted to remove and the chairs, and we had to bring it back. Because the rules provide us the ample time we needed. So we are on course. We must get the signatures. Okay. And my last comment, my senior Honorable Kasiano, was referring to the president. Yes, indeed, we agree with you. I want to agree with him. That the president, if the president had intervened, would have moved rapidly. And that's why those ones who are saying no, but the president hasn't directed us to sign. Okay, you as a member of parliament.
But at one point, Honorable, sorry to cut you short, we have seen some of those top leaders saying those who have signed the signature, it is okay. But those who have not yet signed, let them wait. I know we exactly know.
But that's a contradiction. Then where is your position? Correct. You see those who have signed, but yet you know, those who have signed are not sufficient to deliver the motion to parliament. And then you say, those ones who signed, you are right 100%. But those who have not signed, hold, don't. Then those are mixed signals.
Okay.
At the end of the day, where do you stand? But fortunately, the president came out in his State of Nation address and the budget speech. He said he now has evidence. All along he has been hearing rumors, but now he has evidence that there is corruption between Parliament and Ministry of Finance. Okay. So now the question is, what more language do you want to wait for the president? And lastly, he said, okay, I'm hearing you are also trying, having issues with commissioners. You are chasing commissioners. You go, you finish with the commissioners. Don't involve me. I'm also having my other battles. So of course, as the chief executive of the country, he would have even given a more clearer signal that yes, I'm in support. But he said, as usual. But now I wanted to remind Honorable Kasiano, he was my chairman park. He led us to State House to interact with the president when we had audit queries. Viewers should not forget that even the Auditor General, who is the constitutional office in the country, is an office of Parliament. All the audits of all ministries and governments, he submits those reports to Parliament. And before the Public Accounts Committee, where he was the chair, he led a delegation of members of Parliament to State House to raise issues with the president, to seek his clarification, to seek he clarifies on the issues, because all the ministers were running behind him. Okay. We are trying to hide behind him. So he said, President, we are here. And I think on that day, Honorable, the president discharged himself, because at that time ministers were trying to avoid the committee. But he said that if I, the president, can submit to the committee, who are those ministers that are not coming up to appear before? Okay. And I think it was a good signal that even the president would want accountability. Okay. The only thing we are saying is that he should do more.
Okay, that brings me to now how our politics is all about, and we are talking, when we talk about politics that of today, we are talking about how it has been monetarized. And today we see, and recently I did see one of those defenders, also really not only for this group that we are talking about, but the entire group of parliamentarians who are being investigated for corruption, also really citing that if at all they use it with the voters, it is okay. Where does that put us? And that is in the fight against corruption right from the top to the lower levels, because we must combat corruption right from the top until the last person. Honorable Kasiano, I want to give that opportunity to you to also explain that, because I believe you have that experience, you have been there.
Mr. Wajiri and the viewers, the time when I was in higher school, was in the university, was when I participated in the first election that I voted in. The December 10th, 1980 general elections. And that time, I was the organizing secretary for DP in Makerere University. And I can assure you, you know, my brother, the Honorable Bergaba Alex, is there with you in Parliament. We were the youth. wingers as it were of the Democratic Party. We traversed this country campaigning for my party that time, and my presidential candidate was the late Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogorere. And I can assure you, in order to reach the people to vote and seek for their votes, you didn't need to spend a shilling.
Yes.
Nothing. Even during that election, when UPC MPs from West Nile were declared unopposed, for a historical fact that I don't want to go into because I problem for these people who are young. In the 1980 elections, you know, candidates were to be nominated at the district level. And at that time there was insecurity. You will not easily travel from Kampala to West Nile. The surest means of transport for dignified people that time was to use the air services. We used to have the Fokker planes, those planes made from Netherlands. They were the ones commuting between Arua and Entebbe. And because UPC really wanted to, to manipulate, they said, okay, we are going to have these nominations on such a day in Arua, and every person must get there. You know what they did? They put roadblocks. Apart from the roadblocks, they only allowed the UPC MPs, candidates, to be flown to West Nile. There was this other gentleman from Navy, the father of this other honorable member in Yala.
Joshua?
No, she was one of the first she has left. The man was a former PS. He attempted to cross to West Nile by a canoe on Lake Albert. He was arrested. Then we had the late engineer Dale, who attempted to cross to Moyo. He was arrested at the Laropi ferry and only released after 6. We had people here like the late Romano Asiko, who that time wanted to contest for Terego. That was Rua Central. He was arrested. He could not be allowed to come until all the MPs, the candidates, the whole of West Nile were only UPC MPs, not candidates.
Unopposed.
And they were unopposed. There was no one used. Even that time, when the late Makario Shashubo was my member of parliament, I never went to his office, even as a student. They were never invited for fundraisings. Issues of house rent, issues of medical care, issues of no food. Nobody will approach a member of parliament. A member of parliament's duty was as a representative to represent him in the parliament.
Okay.
That was all. But today, as I talk, elections in this country have been purposely heavily commercialized. Every other time President Museveni moves in his motor gauge, you always see what he goes with. He goes with the presidential motor gauge, which includes a toilet, which includes a kitchen, which includes a billion van where the brown envelopes are kept. He keeps throwing those envelopes. The money stuck in those envelopes are not as a result of President Museveni having sold his cows from either Rakitura or from...
Okay.
No, allow me finish. I have to finish this. Let the viewers challenge me if what I'm saying is wrong. All that money is from Treasury. And most of it is considered classified expenditure. So, when you now see politicians coming up, they are here. They know that when they go for elections, people, voters on the ground, expect them also to throw brown envelopes. And yet, the salary that the Honorable Ssekikubo and the Honorable Odria get, with that allowance, I think, if I can clearly remember now, I think what you people get is around 10 million, 10 million point 5. Okay. That is the 6,291,000, which is your salary, and the sitting allowance of 4.5. That is what is given to you.
Okay.
I don't think that money can make you come and begin copying President Museveni and throwing it left, right, and center.
Okay.
So therefore, this high cost of electioneering in this country is the source of temptation among these members of parliament.
Okay.
We who are now saying, but these elections are in the corner.
Could it be coming also from the monies that these people are earning maybe at this time? Could it be also maybe as a result of the monies that they're earning at parliament as?
But if I can tell you,
would it be contributing the monetization of the election?
No. I don't think so, because
maybe by the time we join parliament, how much money?
He's here, 750,000. He's here.
From Bank of Uganda.
From Bank of Uganda. You'll be given a check, you go and line up.
No, a pink form.
Pink form. Yeah, once you see pink form in your pigeon hole, you know you're going to be paying salary. You're going to sign for your check.
Okay.
That is what it was.
It was how much?
750,000. Now you have got a phone, a modern phone. You can even Google to the website of Parliament, scroll and ask a question. What was the salary of a member of Parliament in 2001? That will be the figure.
Okay.
So, because of this high electioneering expectation from the voters, those are some of the things which are now leading some of these unprincipled MPs into temptation.
Okay.
So, my considered opinion is that President Museveni really needs to. He is the one. He is the alpha and omega in stopping this thing. I do not think the Honorable Dennis Obua, the government chief whip, could have come to. I saw that video clip where he came to you at the table to say you stop this exercise. I don't think Obua could have done that without the nod, because he's a cabinet minister. Cabinet ministers agree on the positions in the cabinet. Cabinet is chaired by President Museveni. So I don't think the Honorable Obua acted out of the blue.
Okay.
And the President Museveni is also, by the way, known. Like a number of young men can confuse girls, he's running 2-3 girls, he goes and tells this one and this, he goes and tells the other one that, contradicting statements. Okay. President Museveni is fond of that, so he could have, in the background, he's come up and say, you go and tell them they should stop that thing. Okay. And President Museveni also wants to be seen as the real person fighting corruption. He does not want to appreciate that. Let these MPs also use their leverage position through this censure motion. Fight this war. Museveni wants to take credit for everything that succeeds.
Okay.
And that is the problem. So it is on him. The onus is on him. He should come out clean and say, I am now, from soul, I am now power.
Okay.
I really want to fight corruption.
And now that brings me to, that is Honorable Odria Yorke. I want to understand, how has the monetization of politics contributed to this kind of corruption at Parliament? To what extent?
Well and good. As I said before, I am now in Parliament for my second term. And those who are voted by you, number one, the taxpayers, and I call the voters, who are now in Parliament. Some of them, when they came for these elections, these votes, they promised a lot beyond what a normal member of Parliament can handle. So they have pledges down there. But also, when they were given opportunity to represent the voters, some of them got there and got excited. They've got a lot of loans. Some of them went there and bought houses. Some of them went there and they bought vehicles that they could not easily afford. Some of the members of Parliament, from having a woman, now they have married 2, 3, 4. This is where the money is going. Now, when they have the opportunity for a trip by the speaker, or getting a trip by the 4 commissioners to travel to earn the $720 per day. These are some of the temptations.
Okay.
Because now the voters are calling you, you must respond to them. You've got issues of fundraising, you have funerals, you have all this. They expect support from you.
Okay.
That's why now I think these voters, these MPs, demands are coming from the constituency.
Okay, but now,
I don't have money. If I sign, I'm going to lose the other trips where I get extra money. That is one of the biggest problems.
Okay.
So, but I'm now also telling the voters, be careful. Because us who are spearheading this, they're saying, oh, these ones now, let us save money. We shall fight them in their constituencies. Let them come. We're also expecting them. Let them bring money in our constituencies. Voters, open your mouth louder, just wider like this. Open. Be ready to eat and eat and eat and eat their money. Because they want to bring in people whom they are going to use to steal government money. Don't allow that. So we are not ready to vote people who go there and do their own business instead of representing the voters. Just because you have a selfish interest to get money out of a trip. Who told you to promise a lot to the voters? Who told you to promise a lot, pledge here and there, left, right? Now you fail to fulfill. Now instead of representing the people, you now go there around the speaker's office looking for trips. You're there around the commissioners who are corrupt to give you trips. We are saying no to corruption. From Parliament of Uganda to all the ministries of this country.
Okay, as we just left with about 5 minutes to wind up with the discussions, now that is where I want to bring in Feni Tribe, because they have been doing a tremendous job. That is to make sure that the voters understand their rights. I must say I've been privileged to move with him to also really to educate the masses about their rights. And now what should the voters, that ordinary mama in the village there, that ordinary grandmother in the village who is looking out for this little salt, little maybe bar of soap, little salt from this learn from? What experience should they learn from in this case that we're talking about now, that is allocating money that is also really by what is not right?
Yeah, I think what people need to know is that when you are going to vote for these people, you need to know who does what and what are you expecting. The problem has been sometimes people vote people, but also the lie Honorable Odria talked about. When people go there, they promise things. I think we're also, for us as West Nile Regional Civil Society Network, I think we're thinking of establishing maybe a kind of academy to begin orienting people. First, before you even show interest of becoming a member of parliament, you need to know what you're going to do there, and you need to know what you're going to face there. The realities are there. So people keep lying and they bring things and so forth and so forth. Now members of public, the voters, hold you onto account. Those issues that you actually told them. If you told people I'm going to do for you A, B, C, D, and so forth, that is what they expect. Now, when on reaching there, things don't work the way. You know, it is more like if you are there, you are like a national leader. First and foremost, you are representing a constituent, but at National Assembly. Now, those are things that you need to know. People need to know that if they are electing members of parliament, members of parliament are going to speak on their behalf. In that big house, first and foremost, to make for them laws, but also to represent them, the issues that they have, to make sure that the budget appropriation is done by members of parliament. That's why I always say, ideally, citizens are supposed to be consulted. Budget reaches parliament in the third stage. But from third stage, when the budget framework paper comes out, citizens need to be consulted, need to know what is it, what are the recommendations that members of parliament are going to give.
Okay.
When the ministerial policy statement comes out, around things around there, people need to know. Because if people's views were taken and the real represented, I don't know if real members, citizens follow these things. If people are following those debates, what are being at here in Western Common, people say, no, for us, we don't talk at plenary, we talk at the committee level. Let's assume they do. What is it that you go and represent? If you really, even at the committee level, whatever the case may be, do you think service award or giving money to people to say, we have done, is it a good thing? Is that the interest of your constituency as of now? Okay. Have we solved all the problems you have in this country, in your constituency, and your village, to now say, okay, I think you guys have done wonderful, now we want to award you for giving things for our people down the village. I think these are things we need to understand. Okay. Now, citizens need to know that members of parliament are there to protect their interests. Members of parliament are there to make sure that whatever they think in their mind reflects what the citizens think it should be. So I think that is why we need to get members of parliament. If we do that, and I want to urge everyone, it is not anything that you know, members of parliament, let's respect them. They should be respected at all times. But it doesn't mean we should not question them.
Okay.
They should also be questioned at all times. When they do good things, let's appreciate. But when they do it against our will, that we think...
So in this case, is it right for me to go and ask my member of parliament why he or she didn't sign?
You actually to have...
Okay, that is where we are coming to the end of the discussions. As we are just left 1 minute to wind up with the discussion now, I'll be able to give each one on views at least 30 seconds to have your final say, and I still want to give it to you now. Since you are the last person to be introduced, now give this opportunity to you this time round to be the first one to have your final say.
Thank you very much. I think I want to thank the viewers. I want to thank you, Western TV. I want to commit. For me, anything good for the citizens, I'm in for it.
Okay.
I don't have a political party. I'm not a politician, but I'm a citizen.
Okay.
My primary duty is to make sure that all the monies that we pay are accounted for and they are used in the best interest of us.
Okay.
For our services, for us. So I think I'm going to be on that, and that's what I will always do.
Meaning we should not expect you to see you maybe on ballot any time from now? No. That is where now I will be able to go to. That is Honorable. Honorable Odria, your final words, anything to say maybe?
Thank you so much, Western TV. And I think mine is a simple one. This is this fight against corruption is a collective effort. It is non-partisan, non-tribal, non-religious. So we call upon each one of you to get involved, take interest, and I can give you guarantee we are going to succeed.
Okay.
Call your area member of parliament to append the signature, because we were sent to parliament to debate. None of them should run away from debate.
Okay.
This matter must be debated, and we are going to censor these people, and they are going to pay back this money back to government.
Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Kasiano, how far with sabbatical leave? As final words, maybe?
No, the time is clicking.
Okay.
26 is not far away. I'm told the roadmap nominations are going to be in September.
Yes.
So it's 1 year. I only show interest.
Okay.
And I can assure you, my name will be on that ballot box, God willing.
Maybe.
But that's not the most important thing.
Okay.
The most important thing is that this motion by our two brothers here is a moment of truth. In the Bible, it is clearly stated, the truth will always set you free. My two brothers were on the right course.
Okay.
Continue with it. We are behind you, although we don't vote in that parliament, but we will be able to talk to the employers of these representatives. They are the employers. The voters are the employers.
Okay.
And they are the bosses. If the people whom we have sent there are really our representatives, and we people who are out of parliament, we are here saying this thing is wrong, then they should take it from us and represent our views by appending their signatures to this motion. I wish you the best, and as I said, should you fail there, bring it to the public court. The public court is where the voters are, and we will handle them.
Okay, that is where now we give the final opportunity to the visitor, because all these are signs of the soil, and always we love visitors, and this is our country, Western Sub-Region. We give that opportunity to you now to summarize the discussions.
Thank you, Farish, and would like to thank West Nile Television. Thank you for hosting us. And to the viewers, we're here. We shall be here tomorrow at the Mayor's Gardens. You see, each of us is making a humble contribution. Because a humble contribution is meant to help with the country to move from one step to another, from one position to another. We may be great, but the moment we fail the fight against corruption, it will be very unfortunate. And you can see, can you extrapolate what that amount would mean? First of all, the image of Parliament. We have the oversight function. But also translate it down, schools that would be affected. For instance, out of the 10 trillion stolen annually, What if only 1 trillion could be given to West Nile region? Just 1 trillion. How much change would you see in this region?
Okay.
Very tremendous.
I believe that is where he summarizes.
No. Allow me to thank you once again. I want to thank Honorable Kasiano. I want to thank Finny. Thank you so much in the civil society organization for following up. We are not talking in vacuum. Look.
Okay.
But lastly, Honorable Odria, allow me to commend you. To commend you before your people for standing firm. We've been together in Bunyoro sub-region, in Busoga, in Ankole. Now, if a person, he has other commitments, he has other engagements, but also standing in that house, it's not easy. Particularly a house now of 559 members of parliament.
Our time is
not
up. Unfortunately,
many
we will not be able to
can
continue.
stand out as Honorable Odria, really.
Okay,
if I'm here in West Nile and I don't give a credit,
we look forward to having you more and more again.
I thank you once again.
Yes, Honorable, we thank you so much once again for coming through to talk to the people about the censure motion, and that is where I hope the viewer who watched us right from the time we began until this hour of the evening, you must have also already understood why these people are here, and we hope they will be able to already attain the required, that is minimum or maximum number of, that is also to have this motion be moved. That's at the floor of Parliament, and tomorrow I believe they will be moving away from West Nile sub-region. They will be heading, that is to now Lango, as they will also already be extending still to Acholi and Karamoja, where we hope they would also already meet the required number of signatures. And that brings us to the end of the discussions. And the viewer, I want to thank you so much, and we look forward to also already having you more on such engagements. And from me to you, have yourselves a good night.